That is unfortunate. Hiding in his armor as we speak. If he did, he'd never be able to get back out. Let's investigate this side of the office. Just to clean them out when she transferred over to the prosecutor's office. There's a small picture frame on the left shelf. Hey! Solana and I went to that theme park. So Lana's desk, it sure is tidy. It's always been a meticulous cleaner. There's not even any dust on it. Looks like someone's still keeping it clean. Come back here? No. Chief Gun must still keep it clean in memory of their partnership. Yeah, the stuff legends were made of. Okay. I crashed through it and jumped outside. I was just saying. I think I've always dreamed about doing something like that. There's a lot of dreams. As long as he doesn't go crashing through the window, we're fine. We are learning. I think 2 years ago, the day George York ran out of the question room and tried to kill Emma. Same fucking day. Can you believe it? And along with Chief Gun to question Dark. No knew he'd be dead just a few hours later. Sure is a sight to behold. Occasionally, hear him playing for the Criminal Affairs Department. You know, it's a fun fact that hospitals keep musicians on retainer because they need a good organ donor. I'm going to give you a second to groan at that before I move on. Okay, we're good. 15th floor of an entirely different building. Screws up. The chief calls them to his office and makes them listen to the organ for hours. For that, the detective can't hear anything for days except the ringing in their ears. He never listens to anyone anyway. Look at the size of Chief Gaunt's desk. Now, let's figure out what he put in that fucking desk. He's reading. A list of evidence? Twice as long as this, though. Oh, it's the SL9 evidence sheet. I wonder... That's right. Guess there wasn't a lot of evidence. Whew. What will the other half of this list be doing here? So we have the missing half of the evidence list. Well, was I any help? Of course. Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence. Now, that's not very kind, is it? In other words, if it wasn't for his ID card, he would have been useless. Isn't that right, you in the coat? You could be back so soon. Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in science. So I was walking to my meeting. I happened to look out a window and saw a stray dog run right into a pole. Just then I thought of a certain detective. Now then, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to leave. Oh, you in the coat. Drop off your ID card on the way out. You won't be needing it anymore. Now get out. I love that, like, the ornamentation on his tie looks like a Christian cross. That's good symbolism. That's very powerful symbolism. Wait, you, the one without spiky hair. Don't go yet. I'd like a word with you. You with spiky hair, you're free to go. Look, pal, if I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. Chief's office is off limits. But no, you just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you? You know, I know I'd be like this. Never would have said it. Finally starting to get the picture. Yeah, I'm starting to see everything. I know what to do. Okay, this investigation is over. Wanted to ask her some questions. Oh, Emma's... Rest of the day. Okay, we still have the... Okay, yes, we do. We do. Okay, Emma's gone. She's being interrogated. I see, so the chief asked Emma to come in for questioning. Tomorrow is the final day in the court. You made to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here. Told you all I can. What you've told me over these past couple of days is absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing. Really? I believe I did mention something quite important. I think I told you right at the beginning. So that I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman. You know, I think I figured it out. I know who's lurking behind your words. You did a good job mentoring you. I'm rather jealous. It seems Edgeworth was right. Once you're convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is the term he used, I believe. Mr. Wright, you're evolving by leaps and bounds. I'm starting to see the hunger in your eyes. I have to admit I was more than a little perplexed at first. You insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth, that you're incapable of doing so because of a certain individual. What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say? So you think I am protecting this person? Protecting? No, I think afraid of is more like it. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence. For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, whom, may I ask, is this person you're speaking of? When I'm supposedly so frightened of. What is this person's name? Take that! Mr. Wright, you are addressing the Chief Prosecutor. Do not forget your place. My apologies. Would you please tell me a bit more about what you think you know? We were partners until 2 years ago. I directed him as a detective. Tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes? His crimes? You and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically hiding and forging evidence. Of course, these are serious offenses. Why is it though that Chief Gaunt's name was never mentioned? Chief Gaunt? Edward didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the evidence was... me. I had access because I was second in command of that investigation. Yes, you, but also one other, Damon Gaunt. If you intend to accuse Chief Gaunt, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gaunt falsified evidence in that case. Take that! Safe in the Chief's office. This jar piece and this piece of cloth. Do you know what these are? The piece of evidence from the SL9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gaunt himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him? Touché, Mr. Wright. It's as you surmise. I cannot disobey the Chief's orders. Even if it means being found guilty for murder. Come now, Mr. Wright. You can't possibly be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate. Perhaps you should say, follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate. Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. Need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car. Despite what everyone believes, you were not the one who murdered Detective Goodman. Correct. I was trying to take the body out of Edgeworth's car. The trunk's lock was broken, and I discovered that murder weapon while inspecting the body. A murder weapon? You mean Edgeworth's knife? No. When I found the body, this was a knife stuck in it. Joe Dark's knife. I couldn't just leave that knife in him, but I took it out and stabbed him with another knife. That would be Edgeworth's knife. That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand. Yes, it seems I got blood on the victim's shoes as well. And then she saw me just as I plunged the knife in. What an elaborate case! Why'd you to hide Dark's knife so badly? It took a lot of work to finally close the Dark case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't even want it to be opened again. My intent was to prevent that, by whatever means possible. We had Dark's knife. The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Dark case. If word got out, which it would, our reporters would have a field day with that. And so she hid the knife in Edgeworth's exhaust pipe. Right. Then I called my sister to tell her what happened and ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler. I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this. Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day. Elaborate. The truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gaunt, the first thing I did was make a phone call. A phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall. The lead investigator for the SL9 incident had been murdered, and wanted that fact to be kept hidden, and I needed help. He was the only other person I could trust. Or at least I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seemed that after I spoke to him, he went off on a escapade of his own. Wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands. Oopsie doobers. He'd already stolen the ID card, but it seems he still hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room yet. My phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared. What a fucking case. But now we know the truth. I'm afraid that's all I can tell you. You've earned my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and investigator. Now please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow. Alright, we're getting ready for trial. It's trial time. It's trial time again. 2 years ago. To be continued and concluded in the upcoming trial. We'll probably not finish tonight, but we'll get a decent amount through. There's no defendants. I've been trying to reach Lana all morning, and she's not here. Lana's missing, and so is Emma. Coming behind the scenes. Knowing you, you've already figured it out. Who the owner of 777 is. I have a pretty strong hunch. You know, the only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday is because there was still room for doubt regarding the ID record. If the number does belong to whom you suspect, then no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything. Not yet. In any event, once all doubt has been removed from that list, I can call for a ruling. 5 minutes, Wright, and Chief Prosecutor Sky will be found guilty. I figured you'd say as much. That's why I came here, to hear what you have to say. The truth. To draw it out of her. The truth. Everything goes back to the SNI incidents. Don't be stupid. Today's the last day of the trial. You have time to reminisce about the past. If she's found guilty, you'll lose your only chance to find out what really happened. Now think about it. See you in court, Wright. If I'm ever going to find out what Chief Gaunt has on her, it's now. Defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Before that, the police chief has a proposal to make. Morning, folks. How's everyone been doing? Hey, Udgy, been back to the pool yet? Oh, that's a good one. Don't think I can top that. You don't mind me asking, Chief, exactly what is it, this proposal of yours? To say the defendant has been asked me if she could speak directly to the court. Having heard what she intends to say, I feel she should be granted her request. In the end, it should save everyone a lot of time and trouble. What's this all about, defendant? Make one simple request and I'll be finished. Your Honor, I'd like for you to put an immediate end to this trial. I confess to all charges against me. On February 21st of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman in the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office. You can't. Your Honor, the defendant's claim does not change the defense's plea. In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your services. Your Honor, I hereby forfeit my right to an attorney. Prosecution may lack direct evidence against me, but it has sufficiently proven the case through testimony and circumstantial evidence. I would like you to remember your verdict now, if you please. Here's... Wow, we're just going right to the fucking... End of the trial, huh? That's unfortunate.
Objection!
One moment, Your Honor. The prosecution has not yet proven the defendant's guilt beyond reasonable doubt. Any ruling at this stage would certainly be premature. Come now, Worthy. I know it's a difficult time for you, but why don't you just be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut, hmm? I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Gaunt. What? Creature of fabrication to cover up your past mistakes. Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you thought you would have me be. With this sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes. Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy. I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness. As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Miss Emma Skye. I request the court hears her testimony. I don't care what you think, Miss Skye. The exposure of truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it would be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it. Worthy, you'll live to regret this, mark my words. Miss Emma Skye, please take the stand. Courtroom drama, huh? Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. My name is Emma Skye. An occupation, I am Lana's little sister, and I want to be a scientific investigator. 2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer Joe Dock of the Joe Dock killings. Is this correct? Yes. I'm trying my hardest to forget about that, though. I'm sorry. But I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to recall those events one more time. This incident that was resolved 2 years ago really all that relevant? Yes, it most certainly is. Okay then. Immediately falls under no pressure. Now, please testify about what happened to you 2 years ago. It's time. It's time to find out the truth. Although we're not a lawyer right now, so I don't know what we're doing here. 2 years ago, I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me. But I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. It's a good thing you weren't harmed. I passed out. I don't remember much. Please tell Mr. Edgeworth. What does that testimony have to do with Detective Goodman's murder? That will soon become apparent, Your Honor. Yes. We are not one to talk about that. We're not the defense. Oops, I guess we're doing it anyway. 2 years ago, the defendant was a detective at the police department, correct? The second in command under the Deputy Chief of Police, Gaunt. Sister, she was the best detective ever. Yes, I remember. Deputy Chief Gaunt and Miss Skye used to be quite the pair. I believe they shared the same office. That's right. I'd always sit at my sister's desk. And thinking about playing that organ. I wanted to play it that day too. The police department and the prosecutor's office held a ceremony that day. She promised to take me to dinner after she finished work. A man came running in and took me hostage. A man? Yes, Joe Dark. He was a serial killer. Joe Dark was brought in for questioning on the day of that ceremony. We were desperate to get anything on him that would lead to an arrest. Upon fleeing the room, Dark proceeded to take the elevator. He must have been in a panic because the elevator was going up. And he ran into Sky and Gaunt's office. The door to have a look. As I saw him. Neil Marsh rescued me. What was the prosecutor doing there? That day, there were two people present during Dark's questioning. Deputy Chief Damon Gaunt and Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Neil Marshall had just received the King Prosecutor's Award. Young and dedicated, he went straight to the questioning room after the ceremony. Dark grabbed me. I thought I was as good as dead. Came running in. I don't clearly remember what happened then, but I'll never forget what I saw in that instance. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. That must have been a real shock. Even now, when I close my eyes, I can still see it just as clearly. Tell us, what were you doing at that moment? I believe you testified that Joe Dark was holding you hostage. The lightning struck and the lights went out. Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark. I was thrown aside and the two began wrestling each other. I'm pretty sure I was watching them. Are we just going right to it? Let's find out. Objection! No, not yet. We did have one segment we didn't press yet, so let's try that. Can you tell us about that? Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark just then. The lights went out. It was just about this time of year. There was a terrible storm going on and lightning struck nearby. So the power went out? Wait a minute. It was pitch dark in that room. You shouldn't have been able to see anything, right? Right, but just then lightning flashed again outside. That sudden flash left an unforgettable image of a scene in my mind. The one from the start of the case. Told detective about what I saw then. Detective? Yes, Detective Goodman. He was in charge of the case. Hear more. So I spoke with Goodman about this 2 years ago. Yes, that's what's so scary about this trial. And you told Detective Goodman about what you saw. At the time, the words just wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture. Well, Mr. Wright, is that enough? Meaning. Objection! So evidence I was given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture. Yes, Your Honor. Shit. us. Let me check this. Oh. Oh. Magic marker, I got a very bad feeling about this. Mr. Edgeworth. This little girl put all her heart into drawing that picture. And yet you would insist on denying its existence. Huh? Hey, I'm not the bad guy! All I'm saying is that as the prosecutor for that case, I wasn't handed such a picture. It may well be. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Behold! Please turn it over, Your Honor. Ah! What is this? It's a picture! Yes, what is that? The picture I drew. Indeed, two men appear to be wrestling here. What's the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list? Only the prosecutor in charge to have access to that list. They're different from each other. What? It would appear, Mr. Edgeworth, that the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. These two lists fit together to form one. You can see the marks here where they were torn apart from each other. So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, it's quite obvious what happened. 2 years ago, only half the evidence in the case ever reached you. What? What?! Why did you draw your picture on the back of the evidence, such an important list? Because that's what Detective Goodman handed me in the questioning room, Your Honor. Wait a minute. If this list was torn in half, then that means... Your Honor! The evidence list was torn in half, and there might be more to this drawing more of the drawing on the back of Mr. Edgeworth's list. Yes, that's quite conceivable. Mr. Edgeworth. It's possible. Let's see. Sorry, Anna. There's indeed something drawn on the back of my list. Is that thing? That thing! Clearly, this act of vandalism is the work of a certain chief of detectives. Very well. Witness, will you please testify about the picture you drew 2 years ago? Oh, yes, sir. Before we get to that... Okay. That's a weird shot, but I think we can work with it. What's wrong with Emma? She seems to be thinking about something when she was looking at the picture.